changing it up because it's my studio. I can do what I want. So the good thing about being internet friends is that you can't get my germs. So that's a win. Unless you're me who's sick. But I said I'd do this YouTube thing, so let's do it. Maybe I should, I don't know if there's glare. Maybe I'll just be blind. Okay, let's try being blind. So today is Tuesday, the 19th of December, which means Christmas is on Monday, which means we are so close to living in 2018, which I know everyone says, but like, it's crazy how fast time flies. But the thing that also happens when we're about to be in a new year is everyone starts talking about new year, new you, new year, new goals, all of these things. And as exciting as it is to look forward, the thing that also starts to happen is that we start to really think about and focus on what we didn't do in this year. So we start to think about how January 2017, we said this would happen, and we haven't even made a single stride towards that. And how we said we'd lose 50 pounds and maybe we gained some, or maybe we only lost 10 pounds. And this failure complex starts to happen, and it almost feels paralyzing. And it's so incredibly unfair. It is not fair for health and fitness brands to start guilting you in to buying their things because new year, new you, work off 2017. Like, who you are, let's just get this out there. Who you are is incredible, regardless of the body that's carrying it. So within that, I just want to talk a little bit about setting some goals that don't really leave a lot of room for failure. First way to sort of avoid some end of year disappointment is that you have to remember that like January 1 is not a clean slate, right? You are still working with the products of your previous decisions. I am the product of every choice I've made from the day I was born. A new date on a calendar does not negate decisions that I've made for myself, whether they were good or bad. So first of all, remember that. There's no magic to 2018, to January 1st. Second is to avoid those really specific kind of resolutions. Example, 2017 was gonna be my year to get really healthy. In December of 2016, my dad had some pretty severe heart complications and ended up having to have 6 bypasses. And I have a family history that kind of makes doctors like kind of panic when I tell them about it and immediately want to take my blood and make sure I'm okay, which I am, by the way. But watching your dad recover from a surgery as intense as an open heart surgery and having the cardiologist that's checking in on him turn to you and your sister and say, this heart disease is your future unless you take control, or unless you've already taken control. That was a huge motivator. And so 2017 was gonna be my year to lose all of this weight and to get super fit and super healthy. And then I was working 40 hours to 50 hours a week at my full-time job. And then my company, TRUEBADOURS, started building itself to where I was working 40 hours a week at that too. And so it was all I could do to make sure I got some sleep. And then my knee started causing me some problems, and I thought that was weird. So by August, I was being scheduled for a really last-minute surgery that ended up having me in a walker for a month, unable to drive for 3 months, and basically confined to my bedroom for most of the time. That was in the middle of August, and now we're in the middle of December, and I'm just now walking semi-normally, and I'm just now sometimes able to take the stairs. The point to all of this is you don't know what next year will bring. And so it's not really fair to tell yourself that you will lose 50 pounds in 12 months or that you will make $100,000 extra in X amount of time. You don't know what's gonna happen, and you don't want to be so caught up in feeling like a failure for missing this arbitrary number that you decided that you completely ignore the fact that like you're still making progress in other areas of your life or in that area, but it just looks different. And so for me, instead of resolutions, I have really come to love words. It's not a new concept, duh. A word of the year is a big thing on social media and things like that. And so I kind of want to talk through how I choose my words. So the first thing that happens is, one of the first ways that I kind of choose my words is this book. I don't know if you can even see it. It's the Desire Map, and it's been a little while loved. It's by Danielle Laporte, and basically this boils down that concept like I was just saying, where it's understanding the fact that like probably your actual goal is not to make $1 million. Your actual goal is probably to feel secure or to have enough money to where you can be generous or adventurous. And so those are your goals: generosity, security, comfortable. Those things are your actual goals, and you just decided that you felt like that $1 million is what was going to get you there. This book is a little bit like woo-woo, but regardless of your personal spiritual preferences, whether you have them or not, this has a ton of really practical ways to think through this idea of coming to your words. So I use this book to determine my multiple words for like my life or for a season. So I think I've desire mapped maybe 3 times since I found this book. The first time I was actually on the road for my job at the museum. I was traveling all over the country visiting artists. I was also turning 25 at the time, so it was like prime quarter life crisis moments. And so as I was in the hotel room, I would go through this book and really take the lessons I was learning from the artist and from my experiences on the road and really hone in on how I wanted to feel for this next season of my life. And then I did it again, probably a year later. And then I'm doing it now that I'm in a new phase of being self-employed and really trying to capture the lessons that I've learned in 2017. So I'll do some videos just on Desire Map, but I want to kind of skim through it. So basically you go through these different categories and you find your top 5, 3 to 5 words is typically what you use. Sometimes you can have more and it's totally fine. So here are my notes from 2015's Desire Map, where my core desired feelings were bold, creative, free, sacred, and peace. And so as I started thinking about those words, and how I would, what kind of things would make me feel these feelings on a regular basis, but I also started thinking about what I needed in order to feel these feelings on a regular basis, where my decisions needed to come from and where I really needed to push myself to bring more of these in my life. And so as I began thinking and journaling and praying and all of those different things, I really felt like in 2015, my word of the year needed to be brave. I needed bravery to present myself boldly to the world. And I needed bravery in order to really allow myself to fully be my creative self. And I needed bravery to set myself up in my relationship with God and with the people around me and with myself, to really feel that sacred connection that I am valuable and that I am sacred. And I needed bravery to declare what I needed to feel free. Whatever that freedom was from, I needed to be brave enough to say that. And then there's also bravery in seeking out peace, in taking away the things from your life that don't bring that just bring chaos, being brave enough to set those boundaries to make sure that I felt it. And so for 2015, I decided that bravery was my word of the year to help me with these desired feelings. So then what? You have this word, and that's super cool, and you can make a graphic and put the Instagram post out and all that thing. You have to make it your decision-making factor. So as something is presented in front of me and my word is brave, what is the brave choice? What choice, without being stupid, makes me feel just a tiny bit nervous? That's where I should go if I want to truly live in line with this brave life that I'm wanting to live. I physically got reminders. So I have this necklace that says brave that my husband hand stamped for me. He also got me, I'll post a picture here somewhere. He got me shoes that say be brave on the back, and they're super cool. They're Nike Air Force high tops, and anyways, and I wrote it everywhere, and I really made it something I could not ignore. So even when I didn't feel like being brave that day or that week, I couldn't escape it. I was constantly being reminded that that is what I needed to do. I read books on bravery, and I read books on brave people, and I studied, and I made it a part of my life. I made it my priority. And so what happened when I decided to be brave? I owned myself on so many levels that made me feel like me. So that's kind of how I did it. And so for 2016, I felt like brave wasn't done with me. So brave continued to be my word for 2016. And then in 2017, I added diligence because I wanted to add some muscle to that bravery. I wanted to really work on some things. And even though it looked so different than I thought it was gonna look in 2017, because I was in bed for 3 months and all of those kind of things, I still tried to make sure it was a part of my life. So if I couldn't do physical work, I was doing mind work, and I was setting goals that kind of felt like I wanted to feel, and I was really active in pursuing this new self that I was trying to discover. And to me, that became just as much of a success in diligence as if I lost 50 pounds. Because I feel at the end of 2017, after everything that happened, I feel like I did the work. I looked at myself, and I tore things away, and I put things in, and I exercised new muscles physically and emotionally and spiritually. And I came to PT every day, and I did my exercises at home to get out of the walker, and I worked on my business, and we had some serious ups and downs in our personal life and our business life, and I pushed through in a way that didn't feel like martyrdom. It felt like work, and it felt like bravery. And so I feel like 2017 is successful because I didn't lose my 50 pounds, but I'm a different person, and that's all we can ask for. Or I'm not different, but I'm better. I'm farther than I was. And so all of that rambling. Also, there are some little things that have come from this idea of making a word of the year. First of all, I pierced my nose, which doesn't seem like a big deal unless you are from where I'm from, where body modifications, piercings, or tattoos are still like a little bit rebellious, or are seen as like, just, you'll never get a job and all those kind of things. I was a full-grown adult and I decided to pierce my nose like an 18-year-old because it's something that I've wanted since I was like 14. And I felt like it was one step of just kind of a small bravery in saying, this is who I am and this is how I want to put myself out into the world. I let my realistically red hair go to the extreme because I wanted to feel like myself. I wanted to feel brave in my hair choice, which might not make any sense to anybody, but it might make sense to somebody. And I tried new classes and I talked to new people and I worked to take my business full time. And some of these things were huge leaps and some of these things were small daily decisions, to put myself out there on Instagram or to wear that article of clothing or to read that book or go there or say yes to this and say no to this. All of those things were small or large steps of bravery that are making me come closer to my ideal self, which is something that no amount of pounds lost or dollars earned or opportunity given can achieve. So yeah, so those are things, so the lessons I've learned and the person I've become are things that no level, no promotion, no new job, no new opportunity, no pounds lost, dollars earned, new car, any of those things could achieve, but they've made me so much more happy and fulfilled. And even when I feel like I'm failing, I'm still pushing forward because I'm still becoming more me and more connected to who I need to be and who I want to be. And that is the biggest success I can think of. And so I just wanted to encourage you at this time of year, first of all, you are not a failure. Ever. Did you wake up today? Did you go out and some days you have succeeded if all you've done is taken a shower. If you woke up and you did the best you could today, you are my hero. You are successful and you are inspiring. So as all of these messages start coming out on the internet where people are sharing all the ways I killed it in 2017 or all the ways you can kill it in 2018 or want to work off those mistakes, all of those things, just ignore them. Just wake up, do the things that can make you feel the way you want to feel, and know that no matter what, you are worthy of so much love. Nothing else matters. You are not alone. You are so worthy and so brave and so inspiring. 2018 will be incredible just because you're in it. I love you. I'll see you in the next video where we're actually going to start walking through this to hopefully give you some words that you can stand on in protecting yourself and your decisions for 2018. Thank you for bearing with me with everything that's happening there. I love you, and I'll talk to you later.